Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. I'm extremely thankful to the organizers of ABCS, Anybody Can Speak, Speechcraft Season 2, for having me here to spend time with you, have this session, and talk about certain learnings that I have had as a Toastmaster. I've been a Toastmaster for almost 7 years now. I have attended quite a few Speechcraft sessions, and I must say, of all the sessions, this is one of the sessions that I enjoy thoroughly because the amount of learning and growth that you have when you are part of a Speechcraft is tremendous. So once again, thank you all for having me here. I'm excited, and I'm sure you will also find the session enriching and value-adding. Today, I'm going to speak to you about impromptu speaking skills. Let me now quickly share my screen with you. Think on your feet, the art of impromptu speaking. Now, why did I say impromptu speaking is an art? Why did I not say it's a skill or it's an expertise that you need to work on? Why did I say it is an art of speaking? Because good communication does not happen just like that, right? To give a very effective speech, you have to actually craft and design the speech, thinking mindfully and creatively. Just like how you make a piece of art. You have to think yourself thoroughly. You have to have clarity. You have to organize your thoughts. You have to list your thoughts mentally and then go and deliver with eloquence. So when you're giving an impromptu speech, you are creating an art there. You are an artist. Now, what is impromptu speaking? Before that, let us look into this picture. It's a very relatable picture, right? There is this rabbit and there is this man. I know some of you here are the rabbits. You're very excited to go on the stage and speak. And the others, many of you, are like this man, like a phone on vibration, vibrating from toe to top once you are on stage. You have butterflies in your tummy. And some of you are a mix of both, a rabbit man, partly rabbit, partly man. You're excited to go up to the stage, but you're scared. You're pumped up to be the center of attention, but you don't know if you would mess up. But it's a good thing that if you are a rabbit man, I would say you're already halfway through. At least you don't have the fear of the stage. You're excited to go up. Now, what is impromptu speaking? Impromptu speaking is otherwise also called speaking off the cuff. It is just like you have notes in your cuff and you are speaking. You don't get time to prepare. You are speaking on the spot without prior notice. And I think this is one skill, one kind of speech that we keep using every single day of our lives in different occasions. I think being Toastmasters has helped my family a lot because my husband and I, we are a Toastmaster couple. So there are times when I get ready to go out with him and he would come back and say, no, I can't attend because I have a Toastmasters meeting. And then he would start delivering an impromptu speech on why this particular meeting is more important than us going out. And he has over time become such a great speaker that I don't know if he is lying or if he is saying the truth. He can very, very eloquently convince people. So this happens to a lot of us. We all find ourselves in situations like this every day, be it in your office, be it in your college, be it in your school, be it among your family, be it with your close friends. And because we use this particular skill quite a lot in our day-to-day life, it is very important that we practice and develop ourselves as impromptu speakers. All the jokes apart, improving your impromptu speaking skills will help you ace interviews, impress your colleagues, and become a more confident communicator. You can go into any group and start speaking. Now, what are we going to do in this particular presentation? In this particular presentation, we will first explore the benefits of impromptu speaking. How being a consistent impromptu speaker, how regular practice is going to benefit you in different ways. And then we will move ahead and I will share some tips and techniques that I learned over a course of period on how to improve, how to organize your thoughts and deliver an effective impromptu speech. And finally, we will touch upon the common mistakes that impromptu speakers make while delivering impromptu speeches. So, I hope you're all ready. Let's start. The benefits of impromptu speaking. How is impromptu speaking going to benefit you? First and foremost, impromptu speaking boosts your confidence. And how does it do that? When you go up to the stage on short notice, when you are speaking on a topic without preparation, you are actually facing a challenge. You are facing a difficult situation and you are performing in the difficult situation to the best of your ability. When you are done with that, your belief in your ability to take on challenges, to meet goals, improve. Secondly, as I said, you are facing a challenge. You are overcoming your fear. You're overcoming your insecurities. You're overcoming your doubts on your abilities as a speaker when you go up to the stage all of a sudden and start speaking on a topic that you just received. That is a great confidence booster. And thirdly, once you are done speaking, you come down, you are back with your group, you start receiving feedbacks. People will come and tell you, hey, you spoke very well. Loved your speech. It was very insightful. So you get different kinds of feedbacks. And then there would be some people who would come up to you and give you tips on how further you can enhance your speech next time. So all of that builds your confidence. You're getting a lot of appreciation and acceptance from your audience. So that builds your confidence. And when you keep on doing this again and again, you keep on practicing again and again, you become a very confident speaker in no time. Second, it develops quick thinking skills. And how does that happen? When you suddenly get a topic to speak, and you're going to give your speech, you don't rely on notes. You don't get the time to write down the points and take the notes along with you and read it from the notes, right? You rely more on your brain. You start thinking very quickly. You start organizing your thoughts quickly. You bring in clarity and then you start speaking. So that over time improves your quick thinking skills. And this in turn helps you in problem solving in different stages of your life, in different situations in your life. Thirdly, it enhances your communication skills. I would say this is a net effect of the first two. Now you are a confident speaker. You can think quickly. You can think with clarity. You can organize your speech and confidently deliver the speech. You can put across your points in a very effective manner. And that is making you a very good communicator. You can build rapport with your audience very quickly. You can connect with your audience. You know the pulse of your audience now. So that enhances your communication skills. This helps you to build stronger relationships and achieve your goals. Now we know the benefits. Are there any techniques to help you ace in impromptu speaking? Is there a set rule that you can follow as a beginner to make yourself a better speaker every time? The good news is that the answer is yes. Actually, there are lots and lots of techniques. There are different techniques that is used by people worldwide. Here, I'm going to touch upon 4 techniques of impromptu speaking on how to go about preparing and delivering an impromptu speech. The first one is called prep. This is a very popular technique used by many speakers, and this is a 4-point storytelling technique. So what is prep? Prep stands for 1 point. So when you get a topic, you start off by making a particular point. It can be a statement, it can be your opinion, it can be a viewpoint, it can be anything. But you start your speech with that point which is related to the subject that you are speaking. Then you move on to R, which is reason. Why are you focusing on that particular point? What is the reason that you speak for that point? You give your reasons, and then you move on to the third thing, which is example. Now you have given your point, you have given the reason why you stand for that point. Now it is important that you justify your speech with a proper example. You give your example to illustrate your point and the reason. And finally, you once again state the point with some concluding remarks and wrap up your story. This is the prep technique of impromptu speaking. Point, reason, example, and then again point. If I need to give you an example, suppose a topic you received was your favorite animal. You would start off by saying that your favorite animal is your dog. Now the point is your favorite animal is dog. Second, you are going to give the reason why dog is your favorite animal. You would say it is because the dogs are loyal, they give you unconditional love. Now you have given your point, you have given your reason. Now you go on to tell the audience an example to drive in your point. Maybe you will just give an experience that you had with your pet dog. And then finally, you finish off with your concluding remarks and once again reinforcing your point. You would say your most favorite animal is dog, but then there are a lot of strays out there who require your support and kindness, and what you plan to do for them, what the world should do for them. And then you wrap up your story. So this is the prep technique of storytelling or prep technique of impromptu speech. Now the second technique is PCR. Pros, cons, and recommendations. This is yet another popular technique that is used when you are delivering an impromptu speech. So suppose you get a topic, you start off by saying the good things about the topic. And that is why this particular method is also called the positives and negatives method. You start off with the pros. You start your speech by describing the good points about the topic, and then you move ahead and talk about the not so good points or the bad impacts that this particular topic can have. And then based on the pros and cons and your understanding of the subject, you give a recommendation. So suppose the topic that you received was benefits of crash diets. You would start off with the good effects that crash diets can have on your body. Maybe you will speak about the very popular GM diet. You would say it is a 7-day crash diet where you follow a particular eating routine every single day. And then at the end of the 7th day, you lose from maybe anywhere between 5 to 7 kilos. So it helps you achieve your weight loss goals very quickly. It is the most effective method if you're running short of time, if you have an important event coming up and you're running short of time. And it has been effective for a lot of people. So you start with the pros or the good points in that topic. And then you move on to the cons or the not so good points of the topic. You would say, but anyways, crash diets are not good for the body in the long term. Once you start eating normally, you will gain back most of the weight that you have lost. And moreover, it might impact your organs or your body in the long run, especially if you have any particular health conditions. It might not be advisable to go on a crash diet. And thirdly, based on the pros and the cons, you would give a recommendation. You would say maybe you should combine a lifestyle change with a good routine of exercise. Maybe you should make changes in your existing diet and go for a less stricter one, which will take care of your body and also help you deal with your existing health conditions. So that is how you deal with the pros, cons, and recommendation method. The third particular method is the star. I would say this is also my star method, a personal favorite. Why? Because this is one particular method that helps you connect with the audience immediately. Because it involves a personal story. And personal stories are always interesting. So this is one method which helps you grab your attention of your audience very, very quickly without much effort. The STAR method is also called CAR method. Challenge, action, and result. Now, what is a STAR method? First, you receive a topic, then you start the topic with a situation that you faced, which is related to the topic that you received. You start with a situation that you were in, and then you go on to describe the situation and tell the audience what was a task that that situation gave you, what was a challenge that that particular situation gave you. And then you go on to state the actions that you took to overcome that challenge, to complete that task. And finally, you let them know what the result was, how your actions helped you resolve that challenge, or how you completed that task effectively with that action. This is the STAR method: situation, task, action, and result. If I need to give you an example, suppose you received a quote. The fear is real, but danger is not. If this is a quote that you received and you need to speak on this quote, suddenly you remembered an experience that you had. So you give the situation. You were supposed to do the laundry at home when your wife was away, but your friends called you for an evening get-together and you decided to go with them. You come back home, find an angry wife inside. She is fuming. Now, this is the situation. Secondly, you talk about challenge. Now I had to make sure that I calm her down. And she looked so furious that I started doubting if I would have my dinner today. Now, you go ahead and state the action that you took. You would speak about how you calmed her down. You held her hands and made her sit on the couch, gave her a glass of water to drink, and started telling her why it was important for you to go for that get-together. Why you could not skip that particular get-together? Because it was a treat that your best friend was giving for his promotion. And if you were not there, he would have felt very bad. And then you go on and promise her that you will finish all the laundry next day and also take her out for a movie. Now that calms her down. She thinks it through and finally agrees. What is the result? The rest of the evening, You both cook together, have a romantic candlelight dinner, and you ensure that you had your dinner, but you were not sure if the rest of your friends had their dinner. So then you understood that the fear is real. You were scared that you were not going to get your dinner, but the danger is not. With some quick thinking, with some tact, you were able to avert the danger. So that is how you go about the STAR method. You speak about a situation that you faced, a real life experience. It could be your experience, it could be someone else's experience. And the task that situation gave you, the action that was taken to overcome that situation or that challenge, and the result that that particular action gave you. This is the STAR method. Now, moving on to the final and the last method, which is the 3 T's. This has been a method that has been around for quite a long time. Maybe the old school method, which we have all practiced in our schools and colleges when we were growing up. And the 3 T's involve a 3-part structure. First, you tell your audience what you are going to tell them. And then you go ahead and tell them. You tell them your points. And finally, you tell them what you have told them. If I need to give you an example, this usually works well when you're speaking on a generic topic. Suppose you are going to speak about pollution. So you go up to the stage with your audience and tell them that today I'm going to speak to you about pollution, the negative impacts of pollution on the environment, and what can be done to diffuse this impact on the environment. And then you go ahead and give your points. You speak about pollution, you give your statistics, you give examples, you give solutions to the problem. You speak, you give your viewpoints, give your points, and finally you conclude by summarizing all that you have told them, by giving a final conclusion. And you are in fact once again taking them through your entire speech in your conclusion. You are summarizing your points and telling them what you have already told them. So this is the 3 T's method. So these are the 4 techniques that we usually use when we are preparing for impromptu speaking. Now, one most important thing is you should not think that it is mandatory that I need to use the prep method or the best PCR method or the STAR method only when I'm speaking on stage. It's not like that. It's not at all compulsory. It is not at all mandatory. Speaking is, as I said in the beginning of this presentation, it is an art. It involves creativity. It involves your creativity. So it is all about how you can effectively give your points. It is not required that you need to follow any rules when you are speaking. You can just go and speak in your own style. It doesn't matter as long as you can convey effectively. Secondly, it is not necessary that you have to use only one particular technique while delivering a speech. You can use a mix of all the techniques too. If it's a long speech, you can use a mix of all these techniques too. Thirdly, how do you decide which technique to use? That would depend on the situation that you are in, the theme that you have got. For example, suppose if you have got a topic which is debatable, for which there can be a for and against viewpoint. Maybe you can go with the prep technique or the pros and cons technique. Suppose you got a quote and the quote reminded you of an experience that you had. You can use a STAR method. You're speaking on a generic topic. You can use a 3 T's method. So it depends on the situation that you are in. It depends on the topic that you receive. And based on that, you can decide which particular technique to use out of these. And as I said, it is not necessary. Even if you go with your own style, it's totally, completely fine. Now we know the benefits. We know how we need to prepare. We know the techniques. Now we are going to speak about some of the common mistakes that we need to avoid when we are speaking impromptu. The first and very common mistake that usually happens to people is that they forget the question. There is this very hilarious incident that happened with one of my friends. He was taking part in a competition. He was well prepared, well groomed, well in the proper attire for the competition. He went up to the stage very confidently. The moderator gave him the theme. He looked at the audience, greeted them warmly, gave a broad smile, and said, "Today," he was very excited. He said, "Today, I'm going to give you some very relevant and valuable viewpoints that I have on this topic." And then he paused, thought for a second, looked at the moderator, and asked, "What was the topic again?" The entire audience started laughing. So this happens to a lot of people. Because of the nervousness, because you are tense, you tend to forget the question. Therefore, take a moment to ensure that you understand the question well before responding. Process the question in your mind, quickly organize your thought, or take a few seconds, organize your thought, and then start speaking. The second most common mistake that happens is rambling. You tend to deviate from the topic. You go off tangents and start giving a lot of irrelevant details which are no way related to the topic that you have just received to speak on. One effective method to avoid this is to use any one of the 4 techniques that we discussed just now. That will help you keep your thoughts in line, organize them, and deliver it quickly and effectively. And third is not rehearsing. Now you would be wondering, how would I rehearse when it is an impromptu speech? I would not have the time. I'm going to speak on the spot, right? But rehearsing is not just happening on the stage. It is happening every minute of your waking time. You get lots and lots and lots of opportunities every day in your daily life to rehearse your impromptu speaking skills. So whenever you find an opportunity, maybe in a team meeting, maybe in a group discussion, maybe with your colleagues, maybe in an informal get together with your friends, grab that opportunity and start speaking impromptu. Just like how my husband is, maybe in your home with your wife, you need to convince her about something. Start impromptu. Maybe even use a technique and start speaking. So keep on rehearsing, keep on grabbing the opportunities that you get every single day. At least once you will have an opportunity to speak every day. So take that opportunity and keep on practicing and practicing. And as they say, practice makes a man perfect. Now we have learned the techniques, the benefits, the mistakes. I'm now going to give you some last minute tips. You are all prepared. You are going up to the stage. But before going up to the stage, what do you do? So let us listen to some amazing tips here.
The most important thing you could do before giving a speech, and I'm talking moments before giving a speech, is breathing. Oftentimes when we're stressed, we're not breathing, so we only have access to maybe 50% of our capacities. Even our thinking capacities are reduced. Once we breathe slowly and deeply, we regain access to all of ourselves and our capabilities. If you have to speak to an audience larger than, say, your group, your Toastmaster group, which might be 20, 30 members, my advice to you would be to pick a person way out in the back. I mean, the farthest person that you can reach, even if they're not even in the audience, someone even outside, and pretend that person is hard of hearing. They can't hear you so well. That will force you to project and to speak slower, and therefore your message will be much more powerful and you'll be heard by everyone.
Those are some very relevant tips. Along with that, I would add one more from my side. It's very normal that we all would be nervous. We all would have these butterflies in our tummies before going up to the stage. That is because we think about the audience. We are concerned about how well we will be received. We are concerned if we would be able to effectively state our views to the audience. Don't think about the audience then. Think about yourself. Think about the enjoyment that you're going to have on the stage. Think about the growth that will happen to you when you speak on this topic effectively. Think about it as an opportunity, as a chance that you are having to improve yourself as a speaker. When you do that, you would naturally become more confident to go up to the stage and speak.
The most important.
Now the prep is done and you're all set to be the star. As I said, impromptu speaking is a very valuable skill. And that is a skill which would help you succeed in your personal and your professional lives. As stated, keep on practicing regularly, every single day, with your group, in your bedroom, in front of the mirror, anywhere. Keep on practicing. Get your feedback from your mentors, from your friends, from your relatives. This helps you, feedback helps you improve consistently over time. So keep on practicing, keep on taking all those opportunities coming your way to become a better impromptu speaker. And before I sign off today, I will also give you some additional resources that you can go back and refer to. There are some books which are great resources when it comes to improving your speaking skills. The first one is Speak Like Churchill, Stand Like Lincoln by James C. Humes. The second one is TED Talks, the official TED Guide to Public Speaking by Chris Anderson. And the third one is The Art of Public Speaking by Dale Carnegie. I'm sure many of you might have heard of these books. The Art of Public Speaking by Dale Carnegie is a very famous, very popular book too. And then we have online resources. The Toastmasters International website is always there. It's a treasure trove of knowledge when it comes to improving your communication and leadership skills. Apart from that, you can also go and refer to the publications of Harvard Business Review. There are articles, there are lots of videos, and also there are ebooks that are published by Harvard Business Review about improving your public speaking skills. And then there is this ever popular TED Talks that are always there in YouTube. So listening to all these great speakers speaking will help you understand the nuances of speaking, would help you understand how well you can use your body language, how well you can use the power of silence, how you can pause to make your speech more effective. So all of this happens when you watch great speakers speaking. With that, we come to the end of this presentation. I hope you enjoyed this presentation as much as I enjoyed talking to you today. I hope the session that you had with me had helped you learn a little more on improving your impromptu speaking skills. It was a pleasure and it was a privilege for me to be here with you and speak to you today. Once again, I thank the organizers of the Speechcraft for this opportunity that I received. Thank you once again and have a great time ahead.